Good morning, you all. Gives here. So before we start, time check. It is 11:13 a.m. and it's Tuesday, March 21st. So for today's video, I just wanted to share my kind of personal story. So it's just a personal, as I always used to do here. I shared all personal informations, or not really all, so it's just what I can share publicly. So it's actually related to my siblings. Okay, so I just wanted to share this, maybe to like do some awareness kind of thing, because we're five siblings. Okay, but I'm only going to highlight three for now, or in the majority of my story. So just three, which is my elder, me, and my younger sister from my father. Okay, so this story, I could compare it to a childhood kind of storytelling about three pigs, and they were given the same amount of money to build their lives, and they end up building, they were given a money to build their own houses, and three pigs build different houses, and the other pig built house with straw materials. The second pig built a house with kind of wood materials, and the last pig built a house with concrete materials. So yeah, for sure you knew that pig story. So it's been a story since when I was a kid. I've heard that a lot. So it's kind of inspirational story, or kind of something like that. So it gives a lesson to people or kids that gone through the same situation, or given the same opportunity, however they didn't end up in the same level. So we're three girls or siblings from my father, and we've gone through the same path. So the same we gone through the same traumas, we gone through the same almost same experience while growing up. And then yeah, so back then, I'm not pretty sure where I should start with my story, because there's a lot of part of the story that I really wanted to highlight, but I might forget some. And yeah, and let's start to the point where me and my elder sister are still with our dad. So because my younger sister, she wasn't born with my father's place, so she was born here in province, and she stayed here because she was only able to transfer from province to our father's house back in Manila, or back in Bulacan, only when she was 2 to 3. So she was born here and moved there when she was 2 or 3 years old, and me and my sister have been together since. So back to the story with me and my sister. And yeah, so we grew up, my me and my sister grew up with our dad since I was like, mm, when I turned almost 5, and my elder sister turned almost 7, because we have 2 years gap. So what happened there is that there were times that my mom, I could still kind of like fuzzily remember that my mom would pick us up from my dad's place and brought us back to province. That's maybe when I was like a year old, because the memories is kind of fuzzy, and I remember that those times that I could like barely walk, during those times that I had memories that I came back here in province from my dad's and live with other man. I kind of remember I have kind of scar on my legs that, let me check, that is long, and I still remember how I got this scar. And that's when we were at other guy's house, which my mom like kind of living in during those times. So I kind of possibly just 1.5 year old, because I was barely walking and I scratched my leg on the rusted biscuit can. And yeah, so that's kind of clear memory, but kind of fuzzy. But that's it about the scar. And then I could remember that my father would come back here in province and pick us up again and brought us back to um, Bulacan, which is my father's house. And then there were all the like most of the childhood memory really took place, or whatever. Just correct my grammar. And then yeah, so when me and my sister was there in our father's house, actually my sister was going into school, like I guess it was daycare or kinder one. And then both of me and my father would like brought my sister to school and taking the river bank. So we're crossing like a river just to bring my elder sister to her school, and same way going back. And then I remember that my sister, when she would come home, she would like teach me how to draw a circle. So I was still have the memories that my elder sister could perfectly draw circle, and I was trying to like imitate her drawing a perfect circle. However, I was not at school those time because I was just young. And yeah, so she's teaching me how to like draw circles, squares, and I couldn't really like do circles. And I even like drew like remember myself when I was like a kid with my sister. I wrote a letter E with a lot of teeth. I still kind of remember it. Like love myself when I remember that memory. I wrote E's with a lot of teeth, like got lines on the E's. Letter B, a big letter E, so I could still remember that, and it made me like smile or laugh sometimes when I recall that. So yeah, so those days with my dad, we don't really have a lot of we don't really experience trauma kind of thing. But my elder sister probably did, because she's tantraumatic kid, and she's demanding. And yeah, so she experienced spanking and time off, something like that. But I didn't experience those. And yeah, since that we already like reached the this point, I would just like to um, like maybe fast forward, because there's no much really on that stage of our lives with our dad, so there's no cause there that affect us really. It's more on um, with our mom and our life back here in province. So when my mom mess up our lives, okay, that's where everything started. So yeah, so before everything started, before my mom messed up our lives, actually my younger sister was brought from province to our dad's house. So I kind of remember that my younger sister is kind of maldita. I'm not sure what's that in English, but she's maldita. And I have that alateris tree back in my dad's house, and then I used to climb that tree because when she wasn't there yet, I used to climb that tree because like it's my tree, because it's in our yard, and every trees that's in our yard, I considered it ours, my sister and I's tree. And we climbed a lot on those trees, and I climbed taller trees in the backyard, in the front yard, on the side yard. I climbed all those trees, and I'm a climber since when I was like a kid, and I enjoyed climbing our trees and even hanging out on the mango trees. For me, it's tall, but probably that tree is not even that tall. But as a kid, you would consider a short tree a tall tree back then, and me and my sister would climb up there and like hang out there and like shake the branches and sing a song like hindi ko kayang tanggapin. I could still remember that we sang that song while shaking the branch of the tree. And then when my younger sister came into the picture, and she was maldita back then, so I have that favorite alateris tree that I used to climb on. And then when I was like about to climb it, she had my tree. So she kind of blocked me from climbing my tree, because I'm not sure why, because she's maldita and she doesn't want, like, I don't know, but she's that sister that kind of like hateful. And because we didn't know her before she came back in our house in at my father's house in Bulacan, so we didn't know much about her. So bringing her there is kind of new to us, because we kind of didn't really meet her. Because remember that back in province, when I could remember, still recall a memory, I couldn't remember any memories of her being with us when we're there in province. Maybe a little of memory when I got the scar. I saw a kid there, like not even walking. She that kid couldn't barely walk because she's just a baby. That could probably her during those time, but I'm not sure. But yeah, possibly that's her. And when she went to my father's house, she actually was brought by my aunts to my father's house, and then she like started showing her attitude to us, me and my elder sister. So what she did, since she blocked me from climbing my alateris tree, I kind of pushed myself up, even though she was like blocking my way up. And then of course, I'm not that kind of fighter. Back then, I don't make troubles because I'm not a trouble kid, but she was a trouble kid. And what she did, because I still like fight to climb the tree, even though not fighting up to her, but I'm fighting my way up to my tree. And then she scratched me on my face, and then I kind of cry. And my father wasn't there, but my mom was there. So she scratched me on my face, and it like kind of scratch from here to here something or somewhere. She just grabbed my face, and her nail make a scratch on my face so it bleeds. And then I ran into my mom. I could remember that I ran into my mom, and then I like told my mom what happened. I actually like told her everything, that I was trying to climb my tree and this little girl trying to block my way up. And then my mom actually didn't do anything. She didn't like even confront my little sister or my younger sister. She didn't say anything. She just like told me, oh, that's okay. No, it's not that way, because my mom is she has a favoritism. Even when I was a kid, I could remember that I don't get much of attention from my mom. I could only get the attention from my father. But that attention problem actually didn't really like bother me during those times, because you're just a kid. You don't really like have any attention to adult attention, so you'll just observe kind of this. And then I told her what happened, what my younger sister did to me. And then she did nothing about it. She didn't even like lecture my younger sister, because she probably is her favorite, second favorite among us three, because her favorite was actually my elder sister, next my younger sister, and lastly, unfortunately, that's the truth. And yeah, so of course you're a kid. Even though you're a kid, you expect something to happen when you like say when you like share something to your mom, that bad things happen to you, but nothing happened. So I kind of like feel that way, like why? Because if I did something, she would like kind of slap me or on my body or my shoulder. So she would do that to me if I did it to my sister, but my sister did it to me. She didn't say anything. She didn't lecture. I couldn't remember her lecturing my little sister that time. And I had that memory that I was thinking that if I tell that to my father, maybe my sister would get like a spanking, because she's just new there and she like did that to me. So but I didn't actually like told what happened to my father, because yeah, I just don't want trouble. And then yeah, that's probably the first bad memory that I had with my my younger sister back then. And with my sister growing up, like on the past 5 years old, like 6, 7, 8, 9, me and my sister and my younger and my elder sister actually don't really bout, because we're during those time 5 to 10 years old, we're in the DS. So we're we are with a lot of girls in that shelter. And of course you met different types of personalities out there, and you got three of us got separated. We didn't sleep on the same room because on that shelter there's like room A, room B, room C, and I would be assigned to room A. My sister would be on room B, and the other one is room C, and then that's how they like placed us there. So we don't really like have a lot of bondings as three siblings when we were there, because uh, they would bond to their friends they met there, and not spending time with me or three of us. And there's the bad memory, me and my elder sister. That's actually the first time that I had to like fight back. So I never get myself in trouble out of the family. I never like get in trouble at school. I never get in trouble in the DSWD. The only time that I get in trouble is with my elder sister. I never had a fight with anyone else but my elder sister, because she's also maldita. Both of my younger and elder sister actually have that kind of maldita drive or personality. And then there's kind of fight, maybe like verbally fight, maybe that's going on with me and my elder sister, and she get like picked, and then she grabbed my hair. Possibly I was like 6 or 7 that time, and she's like 8 or 9, and she's taller than me. Then she grabbed my hair from the floor, and we were like surrounded by a lot of girls from the same cottage from the DS, and then we're fighting, and then she kind of had enough of me, and then she grabbed my hair and like span around, like she grabbed it and then she like span around, and me like suspended on the air, like being like encircled around her. So she kind of spin me around her, and then like seeing myself off the floor while spinning, by grabbed by the hair by my sister. So I actually grabbed her feet for me to stop the spinning. I kind of grabbed her feet. I can remember that I did. I grabbed her feet, and I'm not sure if I bite her, but I'm not so sure because I don't really bite. I can't remember me biting anyone really, but probably I just saw that someone doing that and just confused myself about me biting my sister during that time. But what I exactly did that I could clearly remember was that after she spin around me, while holding me on my hair or grabbing me on my hair, I grabbed her leg to stop the spinning, and then I took like the monoblock chair. I actually like carry it like I was like so mad at her, so I kind of grabbed the I'm not sure where I grabbed it from, but I remember myself like holding a monoblock chair over my head, and I kind of smacked her, and like I'm not sure if yeah, I can. That's the clear thing. I remember that I bit my sister, my elder sister, because she did that to me. So I kind of want the revenge. So what I did is I picked that chair and held it like this, and then whacked it onto her. And then I'm not sure if she cried, because I was already crying those times, because I was just a kid and I'm not used to like fight. I'm not used to be like to be physically abused by anyone. She's the first person, aside from my mom, of course. My mom would like keep on slapping me when I did wrong, and she's the only kid there in that place that hit me. Not because I never get myself in trouble. The only trouble I got myself into is with my sister. So yeah, I whacked her with the monoblock chair. I was probably just small, and I carried that monoblock chair out of my frustration and whacked onto her. And I didn't see her reaction. I kind of possibly just forgot her reaction. She probably cried, or she was embarrassed because she was thinking that I would not like like revenge onto her. But I could remember myself when we were there. Actually, I looked up onto to my sister. So I still remember myself that I loved my big sister during those time, even though she's mean to me. I could remember that when we are having like lunch and dinner, we would have a slice of mango, a banana, one piece of banana. I would like save that banana, or I would save my dessert for her, because I wanted just to like I wanted those desserts I have just for her. I wanted to eat it for myself because she have her own desserts. We all have the same foods served to us. But as I loved her during those time, I gave her half of my food. If she would ask half of my food, I would give it to her, and then I would give her my dessert even though I wanted to eat it, but I would like kind of sacrifice because I want her to eat my dessert, and at the same time I want the dessert to be eaten by me. But because I've been with my sister the whole life, from the time we were born. I was born, she was there up until that year. Like I just don't want to be like separated from her, and just kind of look up onto her. So yeah. And then so that's the first experience that I had to do something bad towards someone, and it just happened. It was my sister, because no other kid would fight me in that place, because I don't like trigger them. I just stay behaved, and I don't like if they like say something bad, or if they I'm just like not a kid, a troublemaker kind of kid, because my sister she loves like verbal fight during those time. I can remember that she has this a girl group, and they're all fierce. They would like verbally fight with a social worker, and that social worker, we actually called her Mommy. So she's Mommy Isabel, because her name is Isabel, and then we call her Mommy Isabel. And then they would like pick on that social worker. They would like bully her like big eyes, because Mommy Isabel actually has big eyes and like a wide forehead, and they will like do that because her friends is also like her. So they kind of match. So they've like picked onto the social worker, and the social worker couldn't really do anything because she couldn't like hit them, just because they are picking her. And kind of punishment they would give, she would give a punishment, like would be like put them on the time off or time out. But since that they are like trouble kids, they would not follow the rules. They would like team up against the social worker. So yeah, that's my elder sister. That's her when we were just kids. And I never experienced being in trouble, and I'm proud of myself because up until now, I never experienced being like physically troubled um, in elementary, in high school, in college. Even now, I never experienced that. The only time I experienced being like uh, fighting is with just really with my sister, not with other people. Yeah, so going to the next story, so probably just elementary and a high school. So that would do the same, and since that during my elementary high school my personality changed because we were placed in a different environment again without those kids that you used to be surrounded with. You're now like dealing with a different type of peoples with different dialect. We couldn't even know how to like understand or comprehend what they're saying because they're using a different dialect and they're trying to speak Tagalog, but you couldn't really like understand the way they speak it because they have the Ilonggo accent. So I was having a hard time during those time, and but there's still some of my classmates when I was grade 4 because I was grade 4 when I transferred here in province. Like I started to grade 4 class when I was here because I already took my first year grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 from Manila. And actually just to like share, I had to be grade 1 or grade 2 twice. Just it's either grade 1 twice or grade 2 twice. So one of that grade I had to like repeat because they said my learning is like little compared to my younger sister. So my younger sister was actually advanced 1 year from me because they considered her matured compared to mine during those time because I don't know why, but that's that thing. So I graduated late than my younger sister. Yeah, so another like environment, right? Another adjustment. So my sisters, they have all their friends, and we couldn't really have like a sister bonding because the only time we could bond is whenever at home, and we like fight almost every day. We fight, or they would make me, I mean my elder sister and my younger sister and my cousin would kind of team up against me because I was not like them. So they're like they're fierce, and they're because I'm just totally kind of homegirl, and I don't really wanted any trouble. And then they would like team up on me, and they would pick on me, and then I would just end up being alone, being felt like I'm being picked on by them. And then yeah, but there were times that my younger sister would team up with me just to bully my elder sister because when my elder sister and my younger sister would like fight, it's either one of them would team up with me to like fight the other sister. And yeah, that's the only time that I could like get along with one sister. When both of my sister would fight, then
one of them would just go along with me, and then kind of convince me to like fight with the sister that this one like hate. So kind of that thing. So but I don't like team up with my sister just to fight. The other sister, I would like team up just because I wanted to just be a sister, not like a backup to fight the other sister. So I'm not that kind. So and the only time I could remember, the only time that I would have both of them like close or team up with me is when I have food. If I have a food, because I know how to climb trees and both of them didn't those time, so I could climb a coconut tree, and then I could eat coconut. Then they would like convince me that they are nice, that they are good to me, that we're three of us close with my cousins. Yeah, like they would pretend that they're okay with me, that they kind of include me with their team up because I have something that they don't. Okay, so during those time, yeah, so they kind of lure me to um, friending them just for me to share them what I have, which I can climb trees, tall coconut trees, for me to eat coconut. And then of course we're good, so I could like now pick them some coconut so they could also eat. So but after that, me having no food, then it will just go back to usual. They would like pick on me again. We couldn't really get vibes, three of us, during those time because again we go to school, they have their friends there, and then when we came home we're just not close, and they team up against me most of the time. And on the those are like the elementary days, but on the high school days actually turned like different in a hard way, because you're already conscious, you have this self-conscious and insecurities that's being developed, comparing yourself to others, and asking yourself like why you don't have these things while other kids have, kind of that. So you that's the stage where you're envy to others, to other kids having more an fortunate life than you are, actually kind of contributed also to who I am right now. So because those time we're in our aunt's house, and most of the time our aunts, or oftentimes our aunts would not come home, so me, my sister, and both of my sisters and my cousin would be left alone in that house without any adults like supervising us, because my aunt would like go somewhere else and not sleep, or not, she's actually working and she would not come home, and we weren't even like informed that she would not come home, because she didn't care about us though during those days. She only cares about our cousin. Okay, so she didn't care about us, she cared about our cousin. So our cousin actually sometimes stayed in that house, but most of the time she was with our grandfather working in the mansion. So she would like stay at my grandpa's workplace, and yeah, just three of us there, and some of my cousins from other aunts we have. we would like come home. I mean, we would go to school all together, and then sometimes we skip at school. We would go to river. We would go to other like district. We will go after somebody else's fruit trees. We would go to river and catch some fish, and didn't even like eat those fish. We just wanted to collect those fish and put them in the bucket, and like watching them like piling up in the bucket, and not even like have planned to like eat those fish. Like they will just rot in that bucket. It's just like a kid adventure. So we have that kind of adventure back then. And yeah, so those are the kind of experience that we gone through on the same path, me, my sister, and both of my sisters. And I have like encountered different kind of people while I was high school. Like I had a classmate that's smoker, that's drinker, that's bad, that's good, and just a different kind of people that could simply influence you, okay? And my sisters also have their own classmates, their own surroundings that could simply like influence them badly or good. Depends on them if what kind of influence they would allow to themselves or what they welcome to themselves. But even though I had a surroundings that bad and good, I was like thankful to myself that I didn't like allow myself to be influenced by bad surroundings. I didn't had to experience smoking. I actually experienced cigarette once, and to tell you, that's when I was at my dad's house. So I just got curious. Okay, we're just going back to dad's house. So my dad left his cigarette and lighter, could be a match or a lighter, and then he left it on like on a higher place, but I could still see it around the cooking area of our house. She like put it on a higher like place for me to not to avoid reaching that cigarette, because I'm curious and I was like thinking how this thing worked. So what I did, I climbed on the like pillar of our cooking area, and then I grabbed my dad's cigarette, and then I go outside, just right under the sink, because our sink is kind of have that whatever outside. So the sink inside is like this, and then the water will just gush out to the outside, and I go to the outside and like hid on the under the sink outside, and then I kind of lit the lighter, and I'm so sorry, no, I kind of lit the cigarette, okay? And then I'm not pretty sure how to use it, but I saw my dad like doing it, and then the smoke would like come out from his nose, and I wanted to like do that, and I don't know how to do it to like get the smoke out of your nose. So what I did is I already lit the cigarette, okay, because I saw my dad how he do it, so I kind of imitate him doing that, and then I kind of lit the cigarette, and not sure, but I like sucked the smoke in, and the fact that I wanted it to be out of my nose, not in my mouth, what I did is I kind of swallowed it because I'm not sure exactly how to get it out of your nose. I thought you would swallow it and then you would breathe, then it would go out to your nose. But I swallowed it down to my throat, and then that made my head hurts. It made me feel like I'm kind of drowning, and then it made my head hurts, and then that traumatized me. That experience of my curiosity trying a cigarette traumatized me. So since then, I never tried having cigarette, even in my high school, my college, even now. I never tried having cigarette. That's the only time that I experienced testing a cigarettes out of my curiosity. And my father never even didn't even discover that. I never told him that because I just don't want him to get mad at me. So, and my mom, I'm not sure if she was there, but my father, actually, he was there. So I didn't share it to any adults because I don't want them to get mad at me. But yeah, thankfully I didn't second experience smoking. And the drinking, I also tasted alcoholic drink just like a bit because it was our Christmas party. It was like third year or fourth year Christmas party, and then after Christmas party we went to the beach and we hang out in that cottage with me and my classmates, my close friend classmates, boys and girls there. So they're drinking and they're toasting, and then they're spinning the glass okay, it's your turn, like that. But I'm not included because they knew I don't drink, I don't smoke. But the last shot, it's actually just a little piece of shot. They kind of wanted me to try it, but I couldn't. So, but since that, I kind of challenged myself. How this thing would taste like? So, what I did is actually I have a lollipop that time, and I kind of dip it into the alcoholic drink, and then tasted, and it doesn't taste good. But I tried. I did that multiple times, and just didn't felt right because the taste is super alcohol, and I didn't know why they keep drinking that thing that doesn't even taste good. But since that's the first time I tasted an alcoholic drink, it actually dosed me down. It made my head hurts and heavy because of the alcohol effect in my body, even though it's just like a dip of a lollipop. It made my head hurts, and just thankfully that my friends are not bad friends. I surrounded myself with a good influence kind of friends. They didn't push me to drink all that drinks. They just let me taste it with a lollipop. And when I was having when I was dizzy, and I have my guy classmate, actually he's into me, and I just was thankful during those time because thinking back, looking back those time, while my classmate having feelings on me, didn't took that opportunity to take advantage of me because I'm kind of in a vulnerable situation, and he managed to walk with me back home safely. And yeah, I kind of think because I didn't experience bad things during those young age, when I was in elementary, even though we like skip a lot, we like go in a jungle, we go to the like places that's kind of dangerous. I was thankful that I didn't had to experience other types of traumas aside from physically bad by your family and mentally abused and psychologically abused by your family. I was thankful that I didn't experience being like abused by other people, like physically, sexually, emotionally, psychologically. I was not abused by other people, but my family did. On my previous video, if you watch that, so that's the only time that I experienced traumas is only with my family. So the rest of the trauma after that is actually like the relationship trauma that my LDR exes gave me, and one night stand guy gave me. I actually had videos telling my relationship or experience, so if you want to watch that, then you can just visit my other videos and find it. And then yeah, so those experience, those traumas actually is just nothing compared to what I had experienced with my own family, because it's your own family. You would not expect them to give you that bad traumas in life, bad experience in life, right? They should be the ones who's protecting you, providing for you, loving you, not other people. Because what I experienced is that other people could give me the love I wanted than the love that I wanted from my family, from my mom, from my whatever. So I had to like search for that love that I've been longing from my family, from other people, and sometimes you get it in a different form of love. Sometimes there's like love abuse. You let people abuse you because of love, something like that. But those other traumas I have with the exes, except for my first BF, it's actually not a lot of traumas there, because it is a karma that happens that yeah, just watch my previous video about my life, my body count. Yeah, watch that, because I don't want to discuss anymore. Yeah, I would spare my first BF or my real BF, because he's by far the great man I've in relationship with, even though our situation back then is not that good. We're poor, we don't have anything, both of us doesn't have job, but we're happy, and we went through a lot of trials, a lot of tests together, and that didn't break us, not until I cheat and he cheats back. So, but he's a good man, and memories are solid, and I still cherish those up until now. I still think of those memories, but like like coming back together is not in a picture, not in a plan, or not no way, because yeah, just no way, because once people became your ex, you like you set them, those people off of your life. You like cut them off. That means there's something that they did to you that made them deserve to be cut off from your life. So you could forgive them, but you don't really need to like give them second chance, because before you cut them off, you already gave them multiple chances to change the way they treat you or to improve themselves, but they didn't. That made you decide to cut them off totally. Okay, so second chance is not really a second chance. So that's the multi-million chance that you will give them if you just accept them back to your life. So they don't deserve that. If they deserve that, they deserve to get that from other people. Prove other people that they deserve the second chance, so called, they deserve. So yeah, but for you, you don't need to give them a multi-million chance to prove themselves, because they already proved themselves multiple times, and that didn't work for you. That's the reason why you get rid of them. So where am I on my story? Is it on the smoking part? Yeah, so I forgot. I lost track of my story now. So just move forward. Yeah, I just remember the guy, my classmate, Paul. He was actually my suitor when I was from first year till fourth year, until like before I had my BF. So he was like a solid suitor of mine, and I kind of appreciate him because he's a good man, and he didn't take advantage of my vulnerability during those time. And yeah, he's totally a good man. So I'm thankful that I had a suitor like him. And moving forward to college life, I actually lost track with my story. I told you that it's all about 3 peaks, but there's a lot more before we could like going to the point of the 3 peaks, which represents 3 of our sisters. But I wanted to like just keep on sharing a story. So in college, okay, there's a lot of time there that I could have been like influenced by different types of people, okay, because there's still a different type, regardless where you go, what stage your life are into, you have these types of people surrounding you that could potentially contributed bad things in your life. But it's still up to me if I would allow that bad things to be part of my life. So I have friends that smokes, that drinks, but I just I'm just thankful because they never like introduced me to their vices. And back in Manila, I have best friends that smokes, that drinks, but they never asked me to try it, and they kind of respect my preference, not non-smoking, non-drinking. And whenever they smoked, when we're together, my girl best friends back in Manila, when they feel like they wanted to smoke while we're together, they would distance their self and then like puff their smokes out of their nose, and they are not doing that near me because they knew that I hate the smell of smokes. And I kind of appreciate that they may not be able to hear my appreciation, but deep inside, when they like respect me in that way, I appreciate it. I appreciate every little things that good things that people do to me, because they had their choice to just smoke in front of me, like disrespecting me as their best friend, but they did what they think is like was right, is to like avoid or distant from me while they're smoking, and not inviting me to try smoke or try um, drinking. So they can drink in front of me, they can smoke however knew how they knew uh, what to do around me. Okay, so they are not bad influenced best friends, because if they're bad influence, they would never be my best friend. And yeah, same with my college friends. I never experienced to be like introduced to bad elements, and even though if they would introduce me to it, I know what's my limit, and I don't wanted to engage myself in bad substance, but drinking and any bad substance, I'm no for that. And that's how I discipline myself, because I could just simply try it, right? Just like other human being, out of their curiosity they would try it and they would get addicted to it, and they could not stop doing it until they're sick by doing that. So I'm not letting that things to influence me. So it's still up to me. So if I'm surrounded with bad people, it's still up to me if I want those kind of bad traits they have to be applied to myself or to my life, if I would like let them influence me in their way. But that's not gonna happen. It's still up to me, okay? Regardless how bad they are, if I want to be bad, I can be bad, but I just don't want to be bad. So let's settle on just being not bad. So yeah, so during those time, high school, college, back when we were kids, me and my sister pretty much gone through the same like sequence of life. They're extrovert and I'm introvert, and they're outgoing, they're social, and I'm alone and I'm loner growing up because of like some things that made me feel like I need to be a loner, because I don't have self-esteem during my high school life because of the unfortunate situation that we had back then. I sometimes go to work starved while our pigs are full, while our chickens are poor. Morning, mid-noon, evening, I had to like do that, and I even like had to go to school totally starved and having headache, and I had to be fed by my classmate using their baon. Yeah, my high school classmate knew my experience, and they were there to kind of support me. And yes, I'm just thankful because I'm I was a strong person, even though my I still consider myself as a strong person compared to my sisters that is outgoing, that is social, that has a lot of friends, that like experience drinking with other people, taking marijuana, smoking, having BFs during high school. I didn't experience that they did
and I still consider myself as stronger compared to them, because I consider them weak because they don't have self-discipline during those times. They didn't discipline themselves to not have a boyfriend during high school. They didn't discipline themselves not trying marijuana. They didn't discipline themselves not having cigarettes, drinking with other guys, something like that. So I have that discipline up until now. Okay, so yeah, I'm proud of myself, and being single is something that I'm proud about, because I didn't have that desperate thing in me anymore. Not unlike before, that even my pervert LDR ex is like mistreating me, like like taking advantage of me because I love him. I could do everything for him, like virtually like pleasuring him and doing what he requests. So those are my weakness, but I am not weak totally, because I still had to come to the point that I had to go against my emotion. I still love that pervert during the time that I broke up with him, but I had to broke up with him because I want my respect back for myself, my own respect back for myself. And I gained that back after breaking up with him, because I didn't respect myself while we're together, because doing some things that I didn't want to do to myself is something that made me feel I'm disrespecting myself. So, but that's a lesson, and then that's a hard way I learned my lesson. Okay, but I'm still thankful for that experience, because I know that that's not gonna happen in future relationship I would have. Okay, so yeah, so that's the thing. So I am thankful for myself for being this type of person, even though I'm not like socially strong like my sisters. Like, I'm not sure, but I guess they have their own traumas, they have their own way how to deal with things. That's because we're different. So that's where the three pigs came up, or became a part of our story, because sorry, three pigs was given the same amount of money to build their own houses, right? So it's just like us three, we're like given the same situation, and we end up in a different ways. Okay, so I considered myself as the third pig who built his house or her house with using a concrete material, and my elder sister, I considered her as the second pig who built her house using a wood material, and my younger sister, I considered her as the weakest pig. Okay, and the reason why is that all those things that we experience like almost the same, right? So, but if you're if I were to evaluate us three right now, our situations are in three different ways, and I'm like the most fortunate among three of us. Actually, just the only one of fortunate among three of us. I may not be rich, I may not be like financially
like I don't have the financial freedom. I'm still struggling with money. But situationally, I am the most fortunate right now. Why? Because all those experience we experienced, the personality we developed during those time, and the people surrounded us during those time, and the same experience from our family during those time, um, contributed to our lives, three of us, okay? And then it actually depends to us on how we built our life. And I'll start with my younger sister because she's the weakest one, even though she's tough, like she's a fighter, like she's actually what you call that, like physically fighter, because she like fight with my mom physically. Okay, my mom and my younger sister had a history that they fight physically, verbally. So she's a fighter. She is like strong. She like uh, project herself strong in a way that she can like fight physically with anybody that's going against her. So that's how she defined being a strong person, is to be able to fight, okay? And then not letting anybody to stoop down on her because she'd fight back physically. And yeah, that's sad for her, right? Because that's lack of self-discipline. For me, it's a lack of self-discipline, because I had self-discipline. The reason why I didn't had to experience grabbing my mom's hair, dragging my mom's hair face to the ground, because I have self-discipline. And having like to experience drugs, that's my younger sister. And being almost insane, that's my younger sister. And I'm sad to like recall her experience, because that has something to do with the experience that we had that turned her into this state of her life right now. So that's the reason why I considered her weak, because when three of us served with the same food, or was put in the same situation, we didn't like end up having the same outcome. So she'd have a bad outcome in her life, bad decision in her life. And to be honest, my younger sister situation right now is just like my father. She is locked up since 2019, and that has something to do with my nieces that had passed away. And I don't hate my younger sister for doing that to my niece, that caused my niece to be like in heaven at early age of 4. I love my younger sister, but she just have that kind of like wildly strong personality that I considered weak, because for me, fighting against your sister physically, destroying your sister, fighting with your mom, fighting with other people, is not something I like considered strong, because there's no self-discipline that's going on when you disrespect other people, your sister. That means that you have no self-respect,
or you don't have self-discipline. And yeah, I'm sad for my sister that she had to end up being imprisoned. And yeah, I'm just sad because it's not on me what her life should be. It's on her hand. If she wanted a life that's not like what her life right now, she should have avoid doing those things that puts her there. And I'm not ready to like tell the complete detail what she did to my niece that caused her in prison, or I'm not pretty sure where she is right now. She might be in the kind of mental clinic or facility. I'm not sure because I didn't want to hear anything from about her anymore since she did that to my niece. I just didn't want to have any idea about her anymore. Not because I hate her, but just because I hate what she did. You cannot really hate the person. You just hate what they did that make them that kind of person. I I I love my sister, and I still like feel for her for ending up in that situation, like destroying her records just because of my elder sister. So if you were able to reach the latter part of my crying video, you would understand why my younger sister would revenge to my elder sister, because she had enough of my elder sister, because I already experienced being like cursed all the time, being like looked down by your own elder sister, like being belittled by your own elder sister, and being like, so I totally understand my younger sister like experience, because I had experienced that myself from my elder sister. I've been belittled, I've been cursed a lot, I've been bullied by my elder sister, and I've been like abused by my elder sister emotionally, physically. And the only thing that I hate about my younger sister is she had to do such a thing just to get revenge to my sister, to hurt my sister's feeling. She had to take my niece's life just to get back to on my sister's. And I wish my younger sister didn't had to do that just because she wanted to get revenge to my elder sister. I wish that she just spare my niece's life, not doing that to my nieces, because my nieces had nothing to do to what her mom's doing to my younger sister. She had nothing to do with her mom's bad behavior, bad attitude, bad personality. She had nothing to do with it, but she paid the price. I lost two member of my family, my nieces, and my sister, because I consider her gone right now, even though she's still alive behind bars. Considered her gone because she's no longer free. Okay, she could die there. grow all inside there, and not being able to like make up our siblings relationship because of what she did, what she chose to do, what life she chose. So yeah. And going to my elder sister, she's the root why my younger sister had to be in prison because of this sister, elder sister. So, but there's still a lot of things that I'm thankful for having this sister. It's same with my sister because there's still a lot of good things that they do. But yeah, but they were just covered by the weight of those bad things they did to me. So this sister did good things, but most of those just bad things because she'd been maldita since she was kid to me, and we never really get along together because we both have different personality. Same with my sister, she did good things for me, and when it was my high school graduation, she was working as a helper in a house, and she had to give her salary for my graduation, like 700. I remembered she sacrificed her salary for me and ended up being peacock, or like, I'm not sure what's peacock in English, but something that a person didn't allow her to leave the situation because this person has an intention to make her a wife. So my sister experienced being peacock by his former partner, and had my first niece and my second niece, which passed, fathered by. And then yeah, so I kind of like put a blame to myself when that happened to my sister because she sacrificed the money she had those time for my graduation, and I didn't really know what happened, why she ended up there. Because I blame myself because I had her money for my graduation, and it could have helped her situation to change if she had her money with her during those time, but she sacrificed it for me. So she ended up being peacock and had 2 kids with that same guy. Actually 3, but my nephew died at birth. So just 2, my nieces. And then my sister, my elder sister, had a rough life because she chose that situation. It's not something that other people put her into. It's her situation. It's actually the Pico thing actually still had her decision to make, because even though this guy would threat her that the guy would like commit suicide if she left him, it's still up to her if she wanted to be like stuck there while being like peacock, or she let go, or she like run away, she walk away from that situation, letting that guy kill himself. So he just chose to be there, to stay there to save this guy's life. So I experienced that, so I kind of understand how pressure that could be to you to be the reason for someone to be dead because they're threatening you. So I understand her decision that ends up her situation to be like that. And second situation she had is something that I also hate. That's actually the reason why, since when I started working after I graduated high school, I work in Manila and sent my money back to her because I kind of wanted to pay back the sacrifice she did to me during my graduation day, because I kind of blame myself for having her in that situation, because it could, that 700 she sacrificed for me could have saved her life, could have like moved her away from that situation that she ended into. So I also sacrificed my life for her because I felt the gratitude of sacrificing her salary or her wage for me during those time. And then the second situation she chose to be in is actually something that has her consent. It's not something like she's being peacock anymore, because that situation she went into was actually my situation. So the this married man, which I had shared on my body count video, I had this married man as my second body count. I kind of cut him off just because he's married, and even though it was hard situation for me to do, or it was hard decision for me to do, because I already love this old married man, okay, and like letting him go to do the right thing was not easy for me to do, but I had to do it just because. Just watch the body count video, okay? And then my sister had she knew what I had experienced, or what she knew, that me and this old man had a past, and I let go of him because of the situation. He's married, and my sister had a chance to choose the life she would have, but she chose to end up with my ex, old married ex. Okay, she should have choose other guy. She worked there and end up having my niece from that ex I had. That puts another strain to her life situation. So she is that situation she chooses kind of pulling her down, instead of like working to like support her two kids. But she didn't think about matured decisions in life. She think about the pleasure. She didn't think about her kids, because if she's thinking about her kids, she wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have get impregnated by that person, and not being supported by that guy. Because this sister I have, this elder sister, she has a very high pride, while she doesn't have, she's dependent, she doesn't have means to provide to her kids. So she would depend her kids to other guy. Okay, she couldn't live without a guy in her life. So I sacrificed my life. During this time I was already working in Manila. So since that I saw her situation, life choices, like turning her down, like not letting her to like rise up from the
misfortune life she chose for herself and for her kids. So what I did, I actually sacrificed my life for him. Not only for him, it's also for my um, elder sister. I mean, my younger sister, because before she um, became imprisoned, like 2 years before that imprisonment, actually tried sending him, I mean her, to college so she could like learn things, get her certificate, get her diploma, so she could find a better job that could support herself. But she didn't take that opportunity I gave her while sacrificing just to help her seriously. She didn't take that seriously. So after giving her the money to use for college, she didn't reply. So she ghosted me after that. So I got disappointed by her. So the next year, I supported my sister to college, like almost a year, starving myself. I had to work, I had a job to not be starved back like few years ago when I was still in Manila. I had to sacrifice myself, my relationship for her. So she like did I sent her to college. I sent her 6K per month. Like my basic pay on my previous job was actually um, 14 to 16K. So sending her 6K monthly is actually more than enough. Because back in college, I was only having like 3K a month. So 6K a month is actually more than enough. And I did that because I experienced being like going to college with not enough money, not enough allowance. So when I sent her to college, I gave her all the opportunity to be like to have extra allowance. So whether if she wanted to go to mall, she would want to buy like her kids some stuff, buy clothes for herself. She could do that because when I was in college, I couldn't do that. Even though I wanted to buy myself new clothes, I couldn't because I had to like sacrifice my food allowance to buy something that I wanted back in college. And I gave her that opportunity to not experience the experience I had when I was in college when I sent her to college. So I just gave her the freedom to be like be free to buy some things that she wants by giving her an like extra allowance while me sacrificing my food just to provide for her and sacrificing my niece's request. My nieces that passed was actually requesting me bike, requesting me tablet, balloons, and spaghetti on her birthdays, but I wasn't able to give those requests because during those time I was sending her mom to college. Both like of us, my niece and me, was actually sacrificing just for her mom, while her mom was having fun with other guy instead of taking that opportunity I gave her seriously, because I sent her to school so she could finish that course and get her certificate, because that's what she chose to like study, to be a caregiver. So I supported what she wanted for college, so I sent her to a caregiver school. And even though it's like um, like you don't have to pay a lot there, but I had to send her money, a lot of money, so she wouldn't feel like she's short of money. So while me sacrificing my food for her, starving myself for her during those time, I even like
gone down gone down to just 30 to 32 kilos during those time, and I was working, right? So I shouldn't be experience starvation because I have money to buy my foods, but I sacrificed that. I even like saw myself before like having this rib cage like poking out of my skin just because I'm like malnourished while working in a call center that pays good for me to like buy whatever I wanted. But I sacrificed that wants that I want back then just to support the sister I have. So while she met with her LDR partner, spending my money that's supposed to be for her and for her kids, for meeting her boyfriend, and while his other partner is being in prison, meeting her partner in there and having the fun, like having good time, using my money that's supposed to be for her and for my niece. And while me starving for her, sacrificing my own relationship for her, because I should have saved that money I gave her for her study to like save it so I could like independently meet with my LDR pervert boyfriend during those time, because during those time I loved my pervert boyfriend that I told him that give me 1 year just to let my sister finish her college and I could save my money and you can come here, because I don't want him to come here without me having my own money. So I had to sacrifice that money to send my sister to school, and had to sacrifice my relationship for 1 year, not being able to save money, because I actually was saving money so I could meet up with my BF. He would come here, and I just wanted to be having my own money, and I opened a bank account, and the bank account I opened actually just dried out just because of me sending my sister to school, and was providing for myself, and I could barely provide enough food for myself because of me sacrificing for my sister. And yeah, while me sacrificing my own love life, my own health, starving myself, which is supposed to be not the experience that I had to experience, but I'm willing to experience that just to as long as it's worth it, okay? Because I wanted her to finish, because I wanted her to be dependent to herself, because I've seen her situation and my mom's situation, that they couldn't live without a partner to feed them, their kids. So I want her to be out of that situation. That's the reason why I sacrificed for her, because I no longer want her to see not being able to provide for her kids. Like I was the one who's providing for her kids the toys, the foods, the clothing. I was the one who's doing that, and supposed to be hers responsibility to like provide for her kids, not me, because it's not my kids. I love my nieces, but it isn't my kids to provide for. I love giving my niece what I feel to give to them, but I don't love the feeling of being obligated to give to them just because their mom is incapable of providing. That's the reason why I sacrificed, because I want my elder sister to pull herself out of that situation, because it's for my nieces. I didn't send her to school just for nothing. I sent her to school, I sent her to college, I sacrificed for my nieces. because I don't want like seeing myself providing for my nieces the whole life, which is supposed to be provided by their mother, their father. But I understand that she couldn't provide it because her situation is so down. So I helped her to be like out of that situation, but she didn't help herself. She just like she just didn't take that opportunity I gave her seriously. So she get pregnant while I was starving in Manila. She get impregnated while like going to college. She was pregnant. And the sad thing there, before my nieces died, she was there. Okay, she was sick. My elder sister was sick, and she didn't even give attention to my nieces because she was sick, because she was pregnant during those time that my nieces passed. She was already pregnant like 1 or 2 months, 3 months, but it's not just obvious. She was sick, and she didn't give attention to my nieces, and my nieces had to like be taken care of my younger sister, and that's the time she took my niece's life. And I kind of blame my elder sister for that, but blaming her doesn't will never going to change anything. So useless of keep on blaming her. So yeah, she get pregnant while me going down to 30 kilos, malnourished while working in Manila, sacrificing my own relationship for her, and she didn't even sacrifice for her kids. She just did what she think she wanted to do with her life. She didn't like use that opportunity to like lift her life away from that situation which she chose to be in, which is very unfortunate situation, and letting her kids experience the same experience that we had before. So it disappointed me. I hated her for doing that. I hate what she did. I actually hate her. I hate her being. It's not just not hating her being. I hate her being totally, because she had done a lot to hurt me emotionally, physically, but I still wanted to help her, sacrifice my life for her, just to help her to get away of that situation and help her kids, because it's her responsibility to like raise her kids, to provide for her kids. It's not my responsibility at all, but I like kind of take responsibility because her situation would not allow her to be a good provider. So yeah, so she get pregnant, and I was totally disappointed because I actually knew before I started sending her to school. Same with my younger sister. I already had an idea that they couldn't make it. Okay, because this kind of personality they have is something that they don't take things seriously. But I wanted them to feel me. I wanted them to prove me wrong of what I'm thinking about them, because before I like sent my younger sister to school, I actually like thinking that she wouldn't take this opportunity seriously, but I wanted to be just wrong, that I wanted her to prove me wrong, that she would like do it to like improve herself. But she proved me right. What I thought about her was right, that she couldn't like go like finish this. She will not finish this. She will not take this seriously. She did not take it seriously, and I was right from the start. I thought of it that
but I sacrificed my money because I just wanted to help my younger sister to get out of that situation, because I already helped myself to be out of that situation. I wanted to just them help themselves out of that situation, and so I had to like lend a help for them to be out of that situation because they couldn't do it by themselves. So I had to sacrifice myself for them, and I got disappointed because I already knew that they would not be able to make it, but I still pushed myself to help them because I wanted to be proved wrong. I wanted to be wrong, but I was right. And then same thing with my elder sister. Before I sent her to college, I also think of the same way to her, that she wouldn't take this seriously, that she couldn't finish this because I know her. She didn't think things or take things seriously. And because she's a spoiled brat, I am not a spoiled brat. So even with my mom, when we're with my mom, she would get some of things that I couldn't get because she's the favorite one and my younger sister, so she's brat, so she doesn't have that mentality to think things seriously. Most especially it's her younger sisters helping her to be out of that situation, so she didn't take me seriously helping her. So when I sent her to college, like actually like few months from the start of sending her to college, like 3 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, actually I kind of believed in her because I kind of see that she's doing good at school, she's having fun with friends, and not expecting that she would have fun with guy and spending that money with having fun with guy. I'm okay having fun with friends. I'm okay spending that money for her kids, for her own stuff, because that's the reason why I add extra allowance for her stuff, for her kids. If she wanted to sacrifice her food allowance for her kids, then that would be okay. But sacrificing my money for her pleasure is something that disappointed me, because I sacrificed my own desire, my own relationship, my own health for her. She so yeah, she disappointed me. So after that, after knowing that she was pregnant, it's like a month after my niece passed, I was informed that my sister was pregnant. And it kind of totally disappointed me, because I was expecting her to like sacrifice with me, like sacrifice for her kids, because I actually talked her out before I sent her to school, like it's only 1 year sacrifice there for your kids. After that you could find a better job to support your kids, and if you're not going to take this opportunity seriously, just tell me right now, so I would not need to spend my money and get it wasted, because I already experienced it on from my younger sister. But she like showed me the willingness to go to college to support to like take a course and finished it, and then get a job to support her kids. That's what I want to feel, that she's willing to help herself and her kids, but it ended up her being selfish. It ended up her being just thinking about herself, her own. Yeah. So she didn't, and now her situation is still the same. She's still desperate. She still uses people to survive. And I have two nieces with her, experiencing the hardship in life, meeting like different men, introducing to different men as their daddy, their dad, their papa, their father. I didn't want that for my nieces, but I didn't choose. And at the same time, I'm not the one who chose that situation for them. It's their mom, so I had nothing to do with that. If they had to experience that, I couldn't change that. So since that's their mom, then they had to go through whatever their mom putting them through. So I'm fixing myself, I'm saving myself for my own kids, because I don't want to be broke when I have my own kids. So I want me to be full, to be matured, to be mentally stable when I have my own family. And while not having my own family, I want myself to be spoiled by me. Me being single right now is actually something that just give me a minute. So let me charge you. Yeah, so I'm almost kind of low, but so I have to charge. So what I actually want is not to take my sister's responsibility for her kids. So even though they are my nieces, I don't want to take them as my responsibility, because taking them as my responsibility would just broke me, because I want time for myself. The reason why I didn't engage myself to a boyfriend, I didn't have kids, because that's what my life choice right now. I didn't want it to have kids because I am sure that I'm not stable yet to have kids, and I will not be a good mother if I have kids right now, because I'm not mentally stable, and I just don't want to have kids that I would let to sacrifice a life. So I want them, whenever I have kids, I want them to not experience the same experience that their cousins are experiencing. I don't want them to meet a different father. I don't want them to be like starved, and I don't want them to see me having a different partner. I just wanted to settle with just one guy and raising a family, getting old together. And I just didn't want to experience my mom and my sister's life experience. That experience, or that result of their decision making in their life, their current situation right now, is actually is a second-hand experience for me. So I already knew what would happen if I choose if I choose the same path they choose. for their life. So I know it would end up, if I choose the path that my sister, my mom did or choose, then I would end up like them. I would end up like needing a man to feed me, and I don't want to end up just like them. I don't want to end up changing partners, and I don't want to end up having kids and let my kids suffer, because I already saw that. I already like witnessed that in a third generation, from my mom generation to my generation to my niece's generation. So having that situation done to myself, to my kids, is something that I don't want to happen. I love my child, not having, even they're not here yet. I already love them, and I would not let them experience what their cousin are experiencing right now. And I won't let them experience the same experience I had way before. I want the best for them. If I couldn't see myself in a situation that could provide a better life for my child, then I'd rather not have a child. That's my policy to myself, that I'd rather stay single and sacrifice my sexual desire than enjoying my sexual desire and get me pregnant eventually and then giving a birth unprepared. So yeah, so that's where the 3 pigs story came in, because the story that those 3 pigs have is actually just portraying our stories, okay? My sister's stories and I. So I'm in a situation that I can provide for myself right now. I build my own like concrete house, and they build their unstable house for them, and they're weak and I'm strong, and I'm proud of myself for being this kind of person, that I'm strong, I'm self-dependent, I don't depend to anyone, because I'm no longer wanted to make I no longer going to like make depend to anyone and make me feel like I owe them my life. So I'm done with that experience. And for my younger brother and youngest sister, I'm actually kind of proud of them right now, most especially with my younger brother. He's now 20, and yes, he's 20, and his life decision actually is just like me. So he could have been like influenced by bad folks or bad peers at school, but he chose to not be influenced by those bad folks at school. So he didn't smoke, he didn't drink, and I like the way he disciplined himself, because if he doesn't have a self-discipline, then he could have been a drinker, he could have been a smoker, so he could have been a like troublemaker. But he knew what it would cost him if he chose to be on this if he chose the path that his sister chose to. So he already had an illustration or like second-hand experience in life that guides him to make a better decision in life. Otherwise, he would end up just like my 2 sisters. And yeah, I'm actually proud of my brother for disciplining himself, because it's up to his decision if he wanted to be bad, if he wanted to be like good person, but he chose to be a good person. He's not letting people like influence him badly, and I'm proud of him for that. And my younger sister too. I mean, my youngest sister, Princess. So I'm proud of her too, because before she was just um, like um, kuripot. She's kuripot, and she didn't treat her nieces good, because they're just on the same age, and she was like trained to be kuripot or madamot, or what you call that. I actually know it in English term, but I forgot. Yeah, she was taught she by her um, aunts from the father's side to be madamot towards her nieces, but as she's growing up, she developed a more sharing personality towards her niece and loving her niece, because that's her own personality. But when she was kid, because she was just being taught to be not be sharing to her niece, or mm, that kind of people who doesn't share foods or things to other, they're not willing to share, that kind of um, personality, or that kind of attitude. Her aunt's actually teaching her to be that kind of kid before, but since that she was not from the time that she was like building her own personality, was taken away from that, away from her aunts. She actually built a good personality of willing to share, and she's carrying now. I can see that she's already changed from being not caring to her nieces to be so caring and loving to her nieces, which is Julia, Ikyom, and Amber. She loves her nieces more than before, because she was selfish before because of the adults to like um, teaching her to be selfish. But I am proud of my sister Princess, that she was able to like correct her like personality, that she was able to like realize that um, being madamot to her nieces is not right, because it's making her ugly, that attitude making her ugly kid. And now she's pretty much beautiful